Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 105. I'm not dimming my light. I found the keys to my freedom, and I'm going to share with you how it started and how it's going. So this freedom that I said I found the keys to, it has to do with these kind of things. I have freedom from living in fear, freedom from suppressing my true nature, freedom from feeling bad about the curiosity I have about the universe, freedom from caring about what other people think, freedom from limiting my dreams and my goals. All these things are aspects of myself and the way I see the world that I've gradually gained as I've gone through this healing process on the spiritual path. So it may already be obvious to some of you, especially those who know the past unhealed version of me. But as a truth speaker, I feel like it's time to just say this out loud. So here I go. I'm not dimming my light. So you might need to put your sunglasses on. I don't say that from a place of arrogance or trying to be facetious, but from a place of a healed soul. So I spent years shrinking myself back, holding myself back and dimming my light to make others more comfortable, but I'm not doing that anymore. It's become impossible for me to do that since I've worked so hard to get to this place of self-awareness and self-actualization and self-respect. I'm no longer weighed down with the darkness of my pain. And by not being weighed down with that pain, I'm able to step more into my fullness, which is in the light. So by being in the light, by that I mean that I live my life authentically. And I spend my life and design my daily life around feeding and caring for my soul and my spirit with things that I really love. And I do these things without guilt or explanation, but instead with the quiet courage that comes with having finally unearthed the true core me, my true essence, my dreams and my desires. But this channel is not just about me. I just use myself as an example to offer you support and encouragement. So I'm going to place a question before you now, or a statement and then a question. It's time for you to reflect on whether you've been hiding your light. Where in your life are you dimming yourself? And are you ready to shine brighter for yourself and for the world around you? Because the world needs more light, and I can't do this on my own. Remember that episode about I lit a fire and I'll keep it stoked for you? Yeah, that fire that burns within me, that's where the light emits from. I'm going to pop the episode number and title up here on the screen for you at this point of the video. So how it started? Well, I spent the majority of my life with the desire to just belong due to societal conditioning and this thing where they place this conformity on us from an early part in our life, from childhood, and then it carries over into our adulthood. So we're constantly being told that we're too loud or we're too sensitive or just too much. And that places guilt and shame filter on our self-concept and our self-expression. I gradually learned to tone it down and play by the rules, and I tried to follow the crowd, but it went against every fiber of my inner being and my inner nature. But I just desired so strongly to be considered normal like everyone else. I knew that I stood out, and I just wanted to belong and not make waves. I learned that standing out meant that I was going to get teased or bullied or even punished by authority figures. So even though it went against the grain for me internally to try to normalize myself and just blend in, that's what I did. I got pretty good at it too. But the toll that it took on me had to do with these kind of things. The emotional aspect of it, depression, anxiety, and fear. The spiritual toll that it took, where I was unsure of my religious traditions and upbringing versus the spiritual questions that I had about God and the universe. There was a physical toll that it took on me, where I had a severe lack of energy and motivation. I gained a lot of weight. I was diagnosed with several types of arthritis and had constant body aches, pains, and frequent illness. And then the mental toll that it took on me, where I had this suppressed pain from trauma, and that caused frustration, anger, confusion, and of course depression as well. A very, very severe depression at one point where I was suicidal. So the turning point came shortly after this suicidal episode that I went through. And it started to gradually become clear to me that I had these deep issues that I needed to work through in order to heal all those various aspects of myself that I just mentioned, the physical, the mental, the spiritual. So little by little, God, our Creator, in His infinite mercy, saw to start to put the right circumstances and people on my path to help me turn toward the light that I completely forgot even existed within me. And it wasn't a singular magical moment. It wasn't like stardust rained down from the universe and sprinkled over me and suddenly I was healed. No, but it was a gradual realization, a steady flow of indications in my life that were showing me that I had so much deeper work to do and that I was very much in the dark. So over time, as I made the choice to step onto this path of healing, it became my spiritual awakening. And little by little, the path opened up before me. But like I said, I had to agree to take the steps. So the breaking point for me, when I realized this was it, it's time to start to expose my light to the world, was when the #MeToo movement came up. And my first inclination was to suppress that and not talk about it. But the universe said, no, this is really important, and it's going to affect everything you're doing from here on forward. So God and the voice within was whispering to me, no more hiding, tell your story. And I've done that, by the way, with this book I just wrote. It's going to be published soon. That's right. I'm preparing you for my book. So anyway, so how it's going? Well, I did write the book, which tells the entire story of what happened to me over the years and the trauma that I incurred in my life. But that's just the first part of the book. The second and third parts of the book are how I worked through all that and went back and rescued those parts of myself and integrated into me. So it's going pretty well. I keep my light shining through things like healing practices, cleansing my energy, taking salt baths, doing yoga, taking these walks in nature that I mention every episode. I do Reiki, not just for myself, but for others as well. Every day I try to acknowledge my inner child, honor her, respect her, and involve her and include her in my daily life and the decisions that I make. I'm in solitude a lot, and that helps me gain this connection to my higher self and to our source. And I never feel lonely. I never feel alone. I can always tap into that presence. Another way I continue to shine my light is what I'm doing right now, which is speaking my truth. I used to be very hesitant. If you go back and watch my early videos, you'll see I'm still kind of a shy person, but the camera doesn't bother me anymore, and I don't mind talking to you. I feel like I'm talking to friends when I sit here and look at the camera and record my episodes. But it was hard when I first started this channel to confidently say whatever it was I needed to say, even with notes in front of me. It was difficult, but it's getting better. And the more I speak my truth and tell my story, the easier it gets, and the more confident I feel in sharing this message with you. So I also use music a lot to shine my light out into the world. But I'll never dim my light again. I'll tell you that right now. Because I know that I'm not too much. This is my true self shining through. I was never meant to fit in. That's not my destiny. And I can't go back. There is no going back. That old version of me no longer exists. So there's no point in even looking back over my shoulder, except at the wisdom gained from the lessons learned. But I don't need permission to move forward. I give myself permission to do that. So the world needs this bright, authentic light to help guide others out of their darkness. So it's not just me. Remember that question and statement I posed to you early in the episode, asking, are you dimming your light in any way, and are you ready to let it shine? I know I might trigger some people and then inspire others. And honestly, I hope to do both, because some of those triggered will be awakened. So be prepared, because when you start to shine your light, you're going to have the same thing happen. Some folks will be triggered by you and others will be inspired. It doesn't matter. Keep going. These are not statements of pride, but rather it's me holding my lit candle towards you and inviting you to light your flame too. This analogy of fire I use throughout my episodes is not by mistake. I did light a spiritual fire, and I am keeping it stoked for you. And I'll keep my light burning bright so you can find me in the darkness. It's not my light you should be seeking, it's your own inner light. That light, that hope that you might see in me, you have it within you too. If you're ready, start taking the steps. That's it for today. I hope you're doing well. I'll be back again soon. Take good care of yourselves. Have a great day, and that's it for now.